I wanted to look at a small excerpt from a book by Rabbi Bernard Meza. Those of us who had occasion to go to Moshava as little children in Ennismore, Ontario, um, met him. He was the learning director at in Moshava, and a very, very fine man, Rabbi Meza. And he wrote this book about the Holocaust. And interestingly, Rav Moshe, his Rebbe, Rav Moshe invested a great deal of time and energy near the end of his life, actually, to to be involved with this production of this book. He felt that the subject matter was very sensitive and needed to be done very carefully. He was so involved that he actually made suggestions and corrections as the book was being written. And I wanted to start to pick it up with a comment that he makes about the difference between lama and madua. And he, madua is what were the causes. And lama has a bit of the play on the word lima. For what? What is the desired outcome? What is the desideratum? What do you want from this? Is the lama, and the madua is looking back at the original causes. And he says that a person cannot ask the madua because nistarim darkei Hashem, because the ways of Hashem are mysterious and are infinitely more complex than anything we can manage. However, there is room, and it is perhaps necessary to ask the lama in the sense of lima. To what end? What's the goal? What's the purpose? And Jews are always asking the question, what is the purpose? That is how the Mesilas Yesharim opens his classic work. What is the purpose? To what end? So, to what end the Holocaust is not why the Holocaust, but what was it meant to bring about? And he points to the resurgence of Torah and its centrality in many parts of the Jewish world. He does it very gently because he doesn't bemoan so much the fact that not everyone jumped on board to restore the centrality of Torah, but he does acknowledge, and I think that we all need to acknowledge, that the role of a Jew is to centralize the relationship with Hashem and his Torah in his life. That means that a Jew is meant to centralize where everything else becomes secondary. It has perhaps a support role, but it has no primary engagement. There's no primary interest other than Hashem and his Torah. Everything else is a secondary support role. And the degree to which a Jew recognizes that the role of Jews in the world is to centralize Torah, you'll start asking a different question. The new question is, how is Torah doing today? I noticed that one of the news channels has a greed and fear index. Remarkably, every day they have a banner and it indicates the idea of a shaliach means that we have purpose, that everything has a purpose, and it is a shaliach in that regard. So that persecution is a shaliach. And how do you know that it's a shaliach? Because it's not a constant. It's that which comes cyclically, and it is the the message contained in that which is not constant is different than the message that is contained in that which is constant. Whatever is constant in our world, its message is simply Hashem is absolutely reliable. That's the steady drumbeat, call it the baso continuum of our lives, the message of Hashem's reliability in the world, that is based on that which is constant. Of course, sometimes that gets interrupted. Chas v'shalom, a person falls ill, whatever the case may be. But the constants in our life are meant to underscore reliability. That which is not constant in our lives is meant to underscore our relationship and the specific shaliach that this brings. So that, for example, Chazal tell us, and the Pasuk tells us, that rainfall is a direct message to the people regarding their relationship with Hashem. Why is rainfall such a message? Because it is not a constant. And it comes as a shaliach. The same thing is true of the rainbow. And the same can be said of the plagues in Egypt, and the same can be said of persecution. That all of the things that are not constant, because Jews live perhaps hundreds of years. Lately, it hasn't been quite that long, but between outbursts of persecution, Jews have lived for hundreds of years. It's not a constant. It's not like sunrise and sunset. It is an indicator of a shlichut. There's an agency involved. And so whenever there's agency, the lama or the lema becomes much more pressing. So again, that which is constant, it has a steady message. Hashem is present, and Hashem is engaged, and Hashem is absolutely reliable in the complex creation that he made. When things come along that are not constant, so those are much more the sense of, okay, what is the message? As they used to say in Nevardik, if I'm not mistaken, was will der Tate. That's what they would walk around saying. What does the Father want? And they tried to do it at all times. Perhaps we're not on their level, but we can at least be asking it when we are confronted with both challenges and salvations, as the case may be. We are always looking for was will der Tate. What does the Father want? Because just like the Arbe delineated the borders of Mitzrayim, the events, particularly the events of persecution, are designed to realign us so that we centralize Hashem and His Torah in our lives without exception. When we centralize, we are doing that which is our purpose. It's why we're here. We're centralizing, and we're not letting Torah and our relationship with Hashem to become secondary to anything, even to our own lives. We don't let it become secondary. Our lives are there secondary to our relationship with Hashem and His Torah.